Hello and welcome to the Dutchman in San Marcos. I am the DISM and we're coming to you with a new showgram this week, and we're moving on with the Cuban cigar box, the one that had all the big warnings on it. So let's get going. All right, here we go. From the last time I left you, we were working on the neck. And here, let me tilt this down. Let me tilt this down to show you. We were working on the neck, and I cut some wood out of this guy. And what I did was I cut two blocks out. I glued these blocks on here. The wings, they call them wings. And so now I've got to slice it. We're gonna slice it to make this thinner, see, because it's like too thick. So we're gonna make it thinner. So I'm gonna slice it on the bandsaw, and I'll show you that. I have to change the blade. I have to change the blade first, and then hang on a minute. Come back. Sorry, I had another piece when I went to get the picture of what we're going to do with the headstock, this headstock here. I'll get it up in your view here. The headstock. Get this. The headstock so you can see that better. What I did was I went online and I looked for headstock designs. And if you can see this, I'm looking at using this one right here. So it kind of looks like a Telecaster, but it's not. And so once I get this thin and sliced and sanded, then we'll trace this piece on there. Or not, it won't be, this won't be exact, so we'll kind of make up that design. What I'm thinking is to kind of go through here. Maybe I don't have enough on top, so I might change it, because I need quite a bit. I need quite a bit up there. But the other thing I had is I got a new box. Look at that baby. It's got black. There's the sides, all wood too. So it's a nice box. The weird part is it says made exclusively for Total Wine. There's a new store that we have, Total Beer and Wine. They got cigars there, and that's where I picked these guys up. Total Beer and Wine has, these are cheap. This was only $1.61 for this box. They set them aside, and then you can buy them for $1.50. It was with tax. $1.61. It's total wine. I'm sorry, the name of the store, Total Wine and More. But that's my new addition to boxes, so we'll have to think of making that something. I love the color. I usually don't change the color, but yeah, so that'll be a new one. It's got good sound to it, so that'll be next on the docket. So let's get back to this. I got to decide. I don't know how much that round piece would look like this, but I might not have enough up here. I might need the glue, but then I might not have enough here. I'm thinking I'm going to make something a little different, so we'll design that once we get it cleaned up. So let me get that cleaned up, and then I'll show you the next step. So I've got to put a new blade on the bandsaw and slice it, so we'll take care of that and we'll show you that. All right, I'm back. I tried to change my blade on my bandsaw, but the blade is the wrong size. I didn't know they varied so many different sizes. It was a 9-inch one, but it's looking like that might be a 13-inch one. So I'll have to get another. So I'll use the old blade. It was just the blade that I bought it with, so I wasn't sure how sharp it was. It feels pretty sharp. But so now what I got to do is I marked the width that I wanted, and I got to cut this part off. And so I'll come back to you after I cut that off. So I'll be right back. All right, so we got it cut off. Here's how it looks. You know, it's nice and thin. I've got to sand it a little. It kind of went up on me a little bit, but with a little sanding, it'll come out nice. So it kind of went up here. I'll sand it. But here is the piece I cut off. I should have cut on the other side of my line, but what I found out was I was wiggling it too much and putting too much pressure on the blade. But nothing that a little sanding can't do. We'll get our sander out and sand these down, and then sand it and shape it, and we'll sand this out to blend in, and it'll look nice. So that way our tuners will go through like that. See? They'll mount real nice like that. So we continue on. We'll get this neck kind of up next week when I get it all in shape. I'll have this ready, maybe even cut out. I might even cut it out since I didn't get too far today. But remember, I only got 74 subscribers. I need 26 subscribers to break 100, and I'd like more, because you know, as I do that, I can bring more content and everything to you. So subscribe, like, tell your friends. You don't even have to be a maker. You could just enjoy watching something get built and crafted together. Watch all my mistakes and make your own and not make the mistakes. So have a great week, and we'll see you soon. I just did my little plug now because I'll come back after I get this shaped and I'll show you some more shots. So after that, then we'll see you next week. All right, back again. Got her all shaped out. Look at that. So now we just have to draw our pattern on there and cut it out. But that was the first time I did this. So I'm really happy the way it came out. I just have to watch it on the bandsaw a little better, so I don't bend the blade when you're cutting this tall. Or maybe block it better on this side. I just used a square, but there was still a lot of wobble. But nothing that a little hand sanding can't do. And we'll file this down. But yeah, that came out to be, it's coming out to be a nice neck. So we'll do a bunch of sanding on this. I've already kind of, you can see I've already kind of rounded this. I just need to sand it more. But this will be probably my first proper headstock that'll fit the tuners right, because I cut it down. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. So next week we'll have this a little further along, and we'll start getting this thing ready to stick in the box. I gotta think about putting a tail piece on it. I'm not gonna waste this piece because it's nice and wide, but I've got to get more stock like this to make a tail piece like that to put in the box. But that's going to be a trip to the Home Depot to get some more wood. But yeah, I'm really happy with that. I got to figure out what shape out of all these, because I don't know if I can fit. I think I needed a little longer piece to fit that on there. I might go with which is easier to cut out. I might go with this one right here. That one right there, because it's got just the angle cuts and it's straight across. And I think I could work that. So basically all I have to do is angle these up and these down. So that might be what I'm going to do with it and shape it. But I'll keep bringing you along, and we'll be thinking about what we're going to do with this one. this box, which is pretty cool. So we'll see you next week. I do have a treat for you coming up next week. This coming Saturday, I'm going to LA to a train show. They've got real trains, model trains, and our son's going to come by. I'll maybe take a few shots of that and throw them in on the end of next week's work. That'd be not this coming Saturday, but that following Saturday, because we'll be there on this coming Saturday when this posts. So we'll see you next week, and we'll have a little extra with some model train stuff on there. That's why my page is always I put on there, and other things around San Marcos that happen, and all in Southern California, because LA is not that far away, and my son lives up there, so we're always going up there to see things. And so I'll show you little snippets of those things too, if you're a first-time viewer wondering about my channel. So also Portillo's is up there. I've got a shot of it on one of my thumbnails. You'll see a hamburger. That's a Portillo's hamburger. I took some shots when I was up there one time, but you gotta look, it's a few videos back. So all right, have a great week, and we'll see you later. All right, one last update. I got it all sanded and smooth. See how nice she came out? So that neck just needs a fretboard on top of it. So yeah, a little bit of sanding on the belt sander, and it came out really nice and clean. So just a little handwork with some files in here, and she'll be good. So that was the headstock shape, and we'll put 2, 1, I think. So we'll see you next week. I hope you enjoyed this episode of getting this neck finalized. We'll have to drill the machine holes and then buy the fretboard and get that glued on and fretted. So that'll come next. So this one, when I started out with it, I was still playing around with my draw plane and how to get these smooth. And over the time now, I figured out that the best way is to take the bulk off with the draw plane and then shape it by rolling it on the belt sander. So that seemed to work pretty well. So then you just kind of roll it until it feels like it's consistent, and you're all set. So that's it. See you next week.